Dear Dr. Maikala, it's an honor to have you join us today for the International ORP Foundation Executive Interview Series 2025. This series highlights pioneers in occupational health and safety, celebrating their innovations and expertise. This year is especially significant as we prepare our 25th anniversary of the International ORP Foundation in Cartagena, the Indies. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lilia. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. So let me introduce our interviewee. Dr. Maikala has a remarkable career story in ergonomics and injury prevention with nearly 20 years of research on how body performs under different work conditions. From designing hospital safety programs to setting international standards, Dr. Maikala embodies the spirit of innovation and dedication in occupational health and safety. Is it correct?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. So before we dive into the today's question, let me give our audience a quick roadmap for the today's discussion. So we will start by exploring the biggest ergonomic and injury prevention challenges of 2025. Then we will discuss emerging trends and innovations in occupational safety. We will also take a look at artificial intelligence, and we will wrap up by spotlighting the ORP Foundation 25th anniversary in Cartagena, the Indies, Colombia. Shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Great. To begin with, let's set the stage by discussing your essential role at the National Safety Council. As a program technical consultant, what are the most pressing ergonomic and injury prevention challenges we're facing in 2025?
Thank you, Lilia. Again, thank you to the ORP Foundation. As a program technical consultant and also subject matter expert for the National Safety Council, I work for the MSD Solutions Lab. And in terms of what are the most pressing ergonomics or injury prevention challenges, since I work in the ergonomics domain, the most pervasive issue is musculoskeletal disorders. Those are the injuries you're looking at that affects the body's muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, and discs. So these musculoskeletal disorders or MSDs, they cause pain, weakness, stiffness, and a decreased range of motion. So that is the biggest challenge at workplace in terms of the injuries. And of course, as part of the National Safety Council, we look into slips, trips, and falls, road safety, motor vehicle safety, and also home safety. But the majority, I work in the musculoskeletal disorders space. In terms of how are we addressing them? The National Safety Council is that again, I work in the MSD Solutions Lab. It's a nonprofit organization, but in this lab, we address these MSDs or the musculoskeletal disorders through 4 pillars. I'll explain these pillars. Again, the first pillar is engage, because we are trying to tackle the most pervasive issue, which is MSDs. So what we are doing is we are meaningfully engaging and partnering with the employers or organizations and also workers, researchers, and innovators, so through engage pillar. And we also, part of that, we already formed an advisory council consisting of expertise across universities or academia, and you have industries, and you have the government, and also solution providers. So, and part of engaging with the external communities, we have an annual summit, and also we have this conferences. A National Safety Conference is maybe the biggest environmental health and safety conference, which happens every year. It's almost like an ORP Foundation, and even but bigger crowd in terms of worldwide audience coming to. And also we have a future of EHS, focusing on what's the future, what's the emerging trend. So that particular conference is very short, of 2 days to 3 days, but we focus on the what's the future. So that's kind of a engagement portion, so in the pillar. But another pillar is research. What we do is part of the MSD Solutions Lab. I work with the team. We look into drafting research insights, what are the state of innovation, what are the emerging trends, and what are the gaps in the research and the practice, And also we analyze the data, we collect the data, and we analyze the data. And also we are trying to create a MSD Commons, Solutions Commons, what Commons in the sense that we are creating a website where any type of solution can be, looked into. If you have a great solution, we try to invite you, ORP to be part of that, where, you can if somebody who doesn't have any resources, they can look into this and find a solution to their problem. So it's an open resource again, that's one of the things we are looking in terms of the research, but also solve. That's the third pillar, again, addressing musculoskeletal disorders. So solve is basically, we are trying to provide, what are the, we are trying to identify the solutions, what are the piloting the solutions, how to scale these particular solutions, and promote them, through, again, we have innovation challenges. And also we have innovation showcases. So for example, if you have a solution provider, we would like to invite them and to create, to show what their products are, the abilities of their products or the solutions, and how they can address the musculoskeletal disorders or the risk for MSDs. And we share the learnings, by publishing insights, case studies or industry spotlights. And also we have unique grant opportunities. This is the third year running in terms of the grants, not only research grants, but also pilot solution grants. The last pillar, which is most important, is amplifying. We are providing a call to action. It's a global in the sense, we are trying to engage the leaders across all these industries, especially these industries which are impacted by musculoskeletal disorders, And so we created a pledge for businesses or organizations. Basically, it's a call to action with the emphasis on risk reduction, safety culture, and innovation and collaboration. Okay. And what this pledge does is that, you are making the employer accountable or organization accountable that, I am taking an oath to reduce risk for my employees or for my workers. So we already have more than 200 organizations which took a pledge, in terms of reducing the risks. So that's what again, through MSD Solutions Lab, we are addressing these challenges, especially the musculoskeletal disorders.
Thank you so much for your response. These insights truly emphasize how workplace safety continue to evolve in response to emerging challenges. And building on that, with your experience in applied multidisciplinary research, what emerging trends or innovations do you believe will shape the future of occupational health and safety?
Lilia, when I came to the ORP Foundation conference last year in Barcelona, again, the emerging trends is AI. So that's what actually I learned a lot at the ORP Congress, in Barcelona in July. And so definitely AI is going to play a huge role. It's already playing a role in our lives. So artificial intelligence. And then, of course, through that, you have this industrial Internet of Things, we call IIoT. And you have digital twins. That's also one of the things which, going to have a huge impact in terms of the workplace health and safety. But, the way I look at it is emerging trends is, again, with respect to health and safety at workplace, we are looking at how to measure the risk or analyze the risk. So you have, again, using data, artificial intelligence and, machine learning, you have this, you can data analytics, basically I'm talking about, and also computer vision. You can use that to analyze the risk, and then of course you can measure the risk with biofeedback. You have these wearable sensors. Everybody's now, you see that, we're wearing these sensors and you're collecting the data. So you're not only analyzing the risk, but through these wearable sensors, but also risk mitigation. End of the day, you want to identify the risk, not only identify the risk, but how best we can mitigate the risk. So you have these exoskeletons, you have this emerging trend in terms of exoskeletons, you have this automated material handling equipment, you have this extended reality, so all these emerging trends definitely play a role. Apart from all that, I'm not saying that, these are the only ways to, address these musculoskeletal disorders or workplace injuries, but also, those innovations can be very simple and cheap. Not everybody can afford, these AI tools, right? So we can always have this simple, easy to use innovation as well. So innovation can be both very high tech versus low tech as well. So again, these trends definitely play an important role. Again, that's my biased view in terms of how I look into in terms of these trends in addressing these risks.
For sure, and I share the same opinion. And are there any industries already benefiting from this? What do you think?
Yes, again, if you look at industries from various, I agree with, yes, of course, the large scale industries, you have the large, medium size and small size. Small size still they're, up there, they are still trying to get these, be part of that, getting these equipment or the technology. But some of the large scale industries, especially in aviation, they already are using it, these technologies. Uh, Definitely on the IT side, of course, they are using these technologies as well. But, small scale, there's, still a bit behind. But again, end of the day, if you are saying that, okay, are people using this technology, it's not only just buying the technology, but also you need to have a buy-in from the worker. Because, last thing you want is policing the worker, because we need to have that buy-in from various stakeholders, especially the worker. Because yes, if we are trying to say that, hey, we are trying to look at how you can make your performance better, but at the same time it shouldn't be detrimental. It shouldn't go on the negative side, that you're not doing the work. So making sure that worker is comfortable with this technology is very important. Apart from that, obviously, again, if you're a large industry, you can afford even basically data security. But if some of the small or medium industries, they wanted to use this technology, they need to have those infrastructure in place, in terms of the data security. And so it varies again, if a large scale industries who have enough human capital, enough, money to buy these technologies, great. But at the same time, they need to have the guardrails in place. So small scale industries still have a bit of tough time to get there. But small to medium, but large scale industries already doing that work. So
For
yeah.
sure. And building on this, how can it be effectively leveraged for small and medium companies?
Well, again, the biggest thing is definitely the worker buy-in, having that awareness, making the worker aware, aware of these technologies, the benefits of these technologies is very important. Yes, if you want to leverage these technologies, education is key to the worker. That this particular technology, if I'm using this exoskeleton, it makes my performance better. That kind of, so for that, you need to have some pilot solutions as well. So what I'm trying to say is that, before you buy this shiny object, make sure, do a pilot study, before you buy an expensive equipment, make sure you do a pilot at certain, if you have a large organization, don't, you know, take the, buy all these exoskeletons and make them use, but, first try to identify the pros and cons of this particular technology and do a pilot and make the employer or make the worker understand that, there are benefits to use this particular technology. And then, also, a lot of these solution providers have already case studies or use cases. So, ask them, to provide these use cases so that helps them, if an employer wants to buy, if an organization wants to buy this particular technology, at least they have that, use cases, then at least they can estimate the return on investment, in terms of, hey, if I use this technology, what's going to be my return on investment, through productivity, through, less workers' comp injuries, compensation, and again, the quality of your work improves. So these are the things which once we have that in place, then you can do, better, leverage of these technologies at workplace. Again, coming back to your fundamental question of how to leverage it. Some of these technologies can be used in remote monitoring, especially the heat stress. If you're trying to monitor the heat stress in the remote workers, this can be, just one example. But there are various ways to look at it. But also, if you are looking at the compliance and documentation, there was a time we need to, have a pen, paper, and pencil of, looking at the data and collecting the data. But using AI and these emerging technologies, you can cut down that, from 100 hours to maybe 2 hours, in terms of collecting the data. So again, this helps compliance, this compliance in, documentation, so that you can be, if at all, if the industry is very highly regulated, at least you have all this data in place. If there is a, examination from the for audits. So
Thank you. So thank you so much for your response. And to wrap up with the topic of artificial intelligence, what specific artificial intelligence-driven tools or research areas you find particularly exciting?
great question, Lilia. I think in my view, artificial intelligence, as you know, there are so many subfields in AI, machine learning, deep learning, artificial neural networks, and natural language processing and computer vision. But my favorite is definitely natural language processing, because what you're trying to do is understand the language, both written and spoken, and then coming out with you processing the data. And then what you're doing is, you're looking at what are the messages it's giving, how best we can capture the data. So for example, if you're saying that if you're looking at the data of an injury, okay, as a in my previous job, I used to read every injury report. So by using natural language processing, you can easily, instead of using Excel spreadsheet, you can use this NLP and then collect all the data for all over the hospital systems, and then just use NLP just to identify what are the causal factors, for certain injury, So that's one. And the second one is computer vision. Again, the other things are very important too, but computer vision and NLP. In terms of computer vision, it is very popular as of, in ergonomics world, where, you can just take a cell phone, take a picture of a worker, and look at the posture and assess the posture. Is it, risky posture, or is it awkward posture? So that's the reason you see a lot of these tools available, computer vision tools. You can videotape a worker, you can take a picture of the worker. And so there are a lot of solution providers, which if you go to any ergonomics conference, that's what you see. Same thing when I came to ORP Foundation, the Congress last year in Barcelona, I saw quite a bit of, computer vision tools. So for me, again, going back to my favorite artificial intelligence techniques are computer vision and natural language processing.
That sounds impressive. Artificial intelligence really seems to be the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as we have explored some fascinating advancements in modern technologies in the field of safety, let us now turn our focus to the 25th anniversary of the International Foundation. So we are excited to celebrate our 25 years in Cartagena de Indias, Colombia this year. How do you see gatherings like these are advancing workplace safety and ergonomics? And what topics, in your opinion, deserve a deeper focus?
First of all, congratulations to ORP for this 25 years. That's a great news. And again, it so happened that last year when I came to ORP Congress, I was really impressed. I just want to thank Dr. Pedro Mandela and Hans Horst as well. Both were amazing. And the way you guys organized that Congress was just incredible. And again, I learned a lot about AI, when I attended the Congress. So coming back to your question of the deeper focus should be, in my view, again, if you're looking at the workforce, there's a lot of informal workers. People don't study much. You have this uh, informal workers, especially in Latin American countries, are huge. Me coming from, my roots are from India, and same thing happens in, people don't do much research on the informal workers. So that's one thing we should focus on. And also the attitude towards safety. We talk about safety culture, but, do we have that in place? Understand the safety culture or the attitude towards safety in this, that should be one of the focus in my view. And also mental health, that's a huge issue at workplace. And the workplace violence coming from the healthcare industry. I've seen a lot of workplace violence data coming in, and that's one focus as well. We should, again, well-being of the worker is important, and which we should focus on. And being, when we look into emerging technology, extended reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, using this technology for training and awareness programs, develop these training programs, awareness programs in health and safety. That's also we should look into, at least, the deeper focus should be on those as well. And the other one we talked about in the sense of, how best we can integrate the technology. You can just buy the technology and say, let me put it on you and I'm going to, analyze the work. No, you need to have that buy-in from the worker as well, because the worker should be comfortable, So again, how best we can integrate the technology. And not only that, is your company ready for the technology? The technology readiness is also important. Human readiness is also important, and we should have that focus on that as well. And last but not least is the compliance with respect to regulatory frameworks, because not the industry, if it's I can understand small industry, but if you're looking at the smaller size firms, but if you're looking at the multinational firms, they have to take care of the regulatory side of it too. If you're not only that particular industry might be in Spain, but also in India, but also in America. What are the regulatory issues? How, what are the compliance issues? So we should have the deeper focus as well, so that the worker should understand the regulation side of workplace issues as well. So those are the things which at least I consider are important to have a deeper focus.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. All the topics you have mentioned are indeed of key importance for the occupational health and safety. And do you have any advice for our audience?
No, I mean, again, ORP has been a great, for me, it has an eye opener when I came last year. Keep continuing the work. And again, health and safety is very important, because health and safety shouldn't stop at work, but also at home too, because, end of the day, you go back home to be with family. So safety, health, both are, they are important both at workplace and also at home. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maikala, and for your warm words. Also, thanks to our audience. We look forward to seeing you all in Cartagena de Indias, Colombia later this year. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget your sunscreen. Also, don't forget to follow official channels of the International ORP Foundation for more inspiring interviews like this one. Bye-bye!